Hey, I'm here from a coffee roastery. I've been working with coffee for almost 10 years now. Today I want to share my top tips for making cold brew at home. I get it. You're tired of hearing about pour-overs, and you want an easy, simple method that makes a great tasting cup of coffee. Well, look no further, because this is the video for you. Let's get right into it. My first tip is going to be about your grind size. It should be coarser than you think. Now, this is one of the biggest mistakes that I see when people are making cold brew at home. They grind their coffee to fine. When you grind your coffee to fine, you're going to end up with a cloudy, over-extracted mess. And trust me, you do not want that. Think of the coarseness of the grind like the size of the holes in a strainer. If you have really small holes, you have re-gone. Be able to control the flow of water a lot more than if you have larger holes. In the case of your coffee grounds, you want to have a medium to coarse grind size. This will allow the water to slowly and evenly extract from the coffee grounds without forcing it. Forcing the water through really fine grinds is going to pull out all of the bad. Stuff like the bitter compounds and the oils that make your coffee taste like gasoline. My second tip is going to be about the ratio of coffee to water. Hey, this is another area where people go wrong. Sometimes you get people who like their coffee really strong, and sometimes you get people who like their coffee really weak. But we want to aim for somewhere between a 1:2 and a 1:3 ratio. So for every 1 ounce of coffee, we're going to use either 2 or 3 ounces of water. We're going to be using a 1:2 ratio today, but feel free to adjust this to your liking. Now let's talk about the ratio of ice to water. Now we do and want to just throw a bunch of ice cubes in our cold brew and hope for the best. That's just asking for trouble. What we want to do is use filtered water. Add our coffee grounds and bring it up to a boil. Once it reaches a boil, we're going to remove it from heat, add our ice, and let it steep. Now you might be wondering why we took it off the heat and didn't just put the coffee grounds straight into the ice water. Well, the reason for this is because of the temperature of the water. When you add hot water to ice, it's going to melt some of the ice and bring the temperature of the water down, much more quickly than if you were to add the coffee grounds straight into the ice water. If you were to add the coffee grounds straight into the ice water, the ratio of hot to cold would be drastically different at the beginning than it would be at the end. Now we're going to let this steep for about 20 minutes. I usually set a timer for 20 minutes while I make some breakfast, pour myself a cup of tea, and just chill. Once the 20 minutes is up, we're going to filter out the coffee grounds and serve. And that right there is my go-to method for making cold brew at home. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, that's all well and good, but how do I make my cold brew taste better? Well, I got just the thing for you. Try adding a little bit of flavor to your cold brew. Now you might be thinking, Will, I like my coffee black. Well, that's perfectly fine. You can still add a little bit of flavor. Think of it more as a seasoning rather than, ketchup. A little bit of flavor goes a long way. So there you have it, folks. Those are my top tips for making cold brew at home. Till next time, stay caffeinated.